Trent, mate, fought it out to the end again, but just weren't able to get the points again today.
Yeah, I just said to the boys downstairs, like, I don't think anyone can fault the effort and the way we've gone about, particularly in the last 3 weeks, like, against North Lonnie, Glenorchy, and now another good team who played in last year's grand final in Lauderdale. So we can't fault our effort. There's probably just those little patches where I wouldn't say we switch off, but just little defensive laps where we let someone get goal side, or we let a ball sneak over the back and we get punished by the opposition on the scoreboard when they go forward. And so I think that probably happened a lot in the second quarter, where we were -8 in inside 50s, and that was probably that little patch there that's come back to bite us and has been the end result of the game.
Is that something you can work on at training, like in time one, I guess, or is it just something that the boys have to get in their heads not to switch off for 5 or 10 minutes?
Yeah, a little bit of both, probably. We'll do some sort of scenario training sort of stuff where we have a score on the ball when we're doing our match simulation stuff, and we've identified red time as an area that we want to get good at in terms of being able to score, but also being able to defend score. And I think we did do that pretty well. I don't think we leaked too many goals in red time today. It was in the middle patches of the quarter, which is good. So we're getting better at that, at closing out quarters, which in probably that little month-long patch where we weren't playing great footy this year, where we were getting scored on heavily in red time. So we've eradicated that out of our game, which is good.
Were you pleased with the response in the second half? I think in the last quarter particularly, you kicked 3 or 4 goals in the last 5-10 minutes. Were you pleased with the boys after half time?
Yeah. Like I said, we can't question our effort or playing the game out, especially over the last 3 weeks. We are playing the game out. We are able to score at the end, and we keep coming. And the point that I'm making with the boys is, if you keep presenting, you keep doing the right things, eventually that does turn, and we'll start to get some positive results in terms of the win and loss column. So we're rewarding ourselves all the extra effort that we're doing at training with some good performances at the moment, but we just need to find that little bit extra to make it a consistent 4-quarter performance, which the good teams do.
Yep. Ryan Matthews went down pretty early with an injury. You got any update on his condition?
That looks like a broken collarbone, so he's gone straight to hospital. So I think on the way home, a few of the boys will go up there and we'll check in on him. And Ryan, being Ryan, tried to come back on and was a bit embarrassed that the ambulance got called. But that's Ryan, and he'll no doubt be putting his hand up to play next week. So, it looks like a broken collarbone at the minute. So we probably won't expect to see him for a few weeks at least, unfortunately.
Yeah, I thought, as he probably does every week, Will Campbell stood up again today. I thought he battled hard all day.
Yeah, especially when Ryan went down. So Will becomes the leader of our midfield. He's a vice captain here at the club, and that's what you get from Will Campbell every week. You get passion, you get leadership, you get and he's a good player. So he stepped up. He carried the midfield group, and Lockie Clifford and Lockie Watt battled hard in there, and were able to expose Blake Grant into the middle a little bit, and Eddie Burrows-Cheng. So one man goes down, so it gives another chance for some other for the next few weeks at least to expose some more guys to some midfield time, which is exciting. We've got to look at that as a positive.
Yeah, you speak of Blake Grant. I thought in the past, particularly 2 or 3 weeks, he's come to a bit of form. What's he brought to the club coming across from Hobart City last year?
I think what you see in Blake's a really good example of buying into standards and his preparation away from footy. So Blake would probably be the first to admit he wasn't great with that over the last few years, but he doesn't miss training, he does extra work, he watches vision, and they're things that I haven't seen from Blake before, and it's no secret that that's a common denominator. You do all those things and you prepare well and put the time in, you play good footy, and he's getting his reward for that personally, from just his buy-in and his mindset.
Yeah, we're halfway through the season now. Is this where you guys saw yourself at the start of the year, or is it I guess at the back end you thought you might have a few more wins on the board?
Yeah, it's a hard one. Like, you'd like to have some more wins on the board by this stage. I think the pleasing thing is, bar the Lonnie game, we're not getting blown out. Like, teams do get runs on us at times, but we're able to grind it out and fight back. Like, I'd like to think that we are pretty tough to play against because we keep coming. We're losing by 3 or 4 goals every week, which is starting to become a bit frustrating, and everyone's getting frustrated by that. But we've just got to stick to what we're doing because we see it does work and it can work with, whether the personnel we've got out there, and we've got them in good roles, and the style of footy we're playing is allowing us to be competitive. I think our back six is going well. They're defending well, and we just got to keep working. You got to just keep working harder every week, and those wins do start to will start to come to us.
Lonnie, next week, mate. Obviously, you spoke about this then about the blowout last time. Is that a focus? Obviously, you want to win the game, but obviously you want to keep in touch with them throughout the game.
Yeah, we've talked about over the last few weeks just be in a position to win at the end of the game. So, if you're 3 goals down at three-quarter time, you give yourself a chance. You're in the game. We were able to do that today. We've been able to do it for the last 2 weeks. So, we've given ourselves a chance to win at the end of the game. So, but all we can concentrate on is our start, our first quarter. Go to work during the week. Watch the vision, get our matchups right. Look at what Lonnie do, how we can try and take it away from them defensively as well. And, they're a tough nut to crack. They've got a great list. They've got a strong list. You've got Mitch Thorpe up there, who's always a tough cover. So, we'll get to work this week and have a really good look at them. They'll come off a bye, so they'll have that little bit of freshness. They're integrating some Mariners back into their team. Miller Hodges come back in there, Alec Wright, those sorts of guys. And then, depending on what happens with ally selections, then they'll start to bring some guys like, your Rubox, Ethan Jacksons and Chase Jones back into the mix. So they're a pretty dangerous team. But we'll have a look at them. We'll have a look at what Lauderdale did well against them 2 weeks ago or last week, and see if we can implement that in our game. And like we do every week, we'll come preparing to win and be ready to give it a crack.
Yep. Other than Matthews, was there any injuries out today at all?
Nah, just a few knocks and niggles, general soreness. This time of year, I don't think there's any 22 in any club that doesn't go out. I don't think there's anyone at 100% really. So apart from Rhino, that's it. Everyone got through, and should be all good for next week.
3 in a row. Pretty happy with that one.
Yeah, it was obviously good to get the 4 points. We probably didn't play as well as we had the past couple of weeks. The conditions probably played a little bit of a part in that, but Kingston also I thought scrapped pretty well throughout the day. So. It was obviously tough with it being pretty wet underfoot, and obviously it rained a little bit there in the first half. So, but at the end of the day, we take 4 points away, and we look forward to playing North Hobart next week.
Windy was pretty strong in his message downstairs. What was his main point to the group?
He was probably just sort of saying we can't sort of fall back on these games against, I guess, the bottom sides. We need to be trying to sort of put our foot down and win these ones by a little bit more. And I guess the conditions probably played a little bit of part, and I thought the Tigers, as I said before, scrapped really well, which probably brought it to, it wasn't 4 goals in the end, I think. So, that was sort of the message. We can't really sort of lay back on these games, and next week's another opportunity against North Hobart, who are one of those sides down the bottom of the ladder that we need to sort of put our foot down and try and finish off those wins.
So it was a bit of an arm wrestle in the first quarter. You broke away in the second. Did you feel the heat come again in the third quarter from the Tigers?
Yeah, in the first quarter we felt like we were on top. The game was probably played in our forward half most of that first quarter, and then they kicked a couple of late, I think, I can remember. And then we kept them goalless in the second quarter, which was really good. I thought our back six was good in the second quarter, and we probably didn't capitalise as much as we would have liked. We had a little bit of footy forward, and it was a bit of a stoppage game, wasn't it? Stoppage to stoppage. So, and then in the third quarter, towards the end there, Kingston definitely brought the heat, and I think we kicked a couple of late ones just to steady us. So, throughout the day, to the Tigers' credit, they kept coming, and even in the last quarter, they were coming pretty hard. And I think got within 3 goals there. So, but at the end of the day, we take 4 points away, which is good.
Yeah, pretty impressed with Alex Hill, kick 5. What do you make of his game?
Yeah, the big fellow in his 150th actually. So it was his 150th today, and probably not a day for big fellas. And he ends up catching the footy forward and kicks 5, and he probably could have kicked 7. I think he kicked a couple of behinds, but you can see when we do get it in to Lexi, and he's got a really good set of hands, and he likes going one-on-one, and he's really good with his body. So if you can get it into him and you can get those one-on-ones with him, you can sort of see what he does. He did it last year against Launceston as well up there, and I think he kicked 5 or 6 that game, and he played a pretty similar role. So he's been playing well for us. Yeah,
I thought field goal changes for your other shining hot today. He battles hard every week. Yep. Obviously with the absence of Bryson Thor, he just tends to stand up and do his job week in, week out.
Yeah, I thought Phil and Nat were excellent all day in there. they probably won the midfield battle at the end of the day. And even when the Tigers were coming, it was those two that were getting the next centre break and getting it forward for us. So I thought Phil and Nat were the two for us that were probably stood out there in the middle. Also had Alex Heavey out today as well, so he's another midfielder that we were missing. So we're almost missing our first string midfield in Bryce Thor and Alex Heavey. So those boys are continuing to stand up and they're leaders and they have to. So.
Yeah, Brandy spoke a couple of weeks ago that he said that Thor wasn't far off. He came back to training last week.
Yep.
Is there any update on him and Bryce?
Yeah, so Thor's been doing the warm-ups of us at training and then going inside to do his rehab. So he's starting to get some load into his foot now, and it's still going to be a sort of work in progress. It's the third time he's broken his foot, so this time we're being, I guess, we're trying to be pretty careful with it. We don't want him to come back too early and break his foot again. So he's got a few things outside of footy as well. So work, he missed 6 weeks because of that, and stuff like that. So you have to be mindful of players' sort of jobs and stuff as well with that. So we don't want to bring him back too early. And he'll definitely be back by the end of the year though, and he'll obviously add a little bit of X factor for us.
Yeah, I thought Gilby's probably brought that X factor while those other boys been out. Obviously, he's got that AFL experience.
Yeah.
I guess the bye last week, but the last couple of games he's really come to his own.
Yeah, Gilbs, he's sort of bringing that pressure. It's probably what you see Thor doing last year, that pressure and Thor's speed, and he just hunts them down. And Gilby's probably brought that, and his tackling's really standing out to us. And he's that one that's given us second and third chances when the ball goes inside 50, and we try and move the ball forward and just try and keep in that 50. And he's obviously really important for that. So he's been playing really well, and he always comes and kicks a couple of goals as well, which is really handy for us. So Gilbs, I thought, was probably one of our best players today as well.
Yeah. North Hobart next week, obviously a game you're expected to win considering later positions. A, is it tough to get up for those games, and then B, obviously you're aiming for 4 in a row and then really pump it in come finals time?
I wouldn't say it's tough to get up for it. No game's really easy. North Hobart last time scrapped really well at North Hobart Oval, and their smaller ground probably helps with that a little bit. And they've still got some good quality players, especially a couple inside there that, as I said, they'll go to probably Nat and Phil and scrap along there. So they're not an easy team to beat, even though their record probably suggests that they are. But we can't go in and take them lightly. As I said before, this is a game that we really need to put our foot down and really get a big win and try and move forward, and then potentially win 4 or 5 in a row. So it's a big one for us next week. Yeah,
midway point of the season now. Considering you were 0-3, is the group happy with where you're at now?
Yeah, I think we're 5-5 now,
yeah.
Is it? So we're back to 50%, and probably wasn't looking good early in the year when we had those key injuries and we lost the first 3. But there's been a couple of games there. I think both Clarence games are games we probably fell down in the last quarter and we could have won. And obviously the North Lonnie game and Glenorchy game early in the year wasn't great. But to win 3 in a row now is good. It just gets the confidence back up again. We know if we can play our game style, we can beat any team on our day, like we did last year. So. It's obviously. I guess it's okay considering we were 0-3, but there's still a fair bit of improvement to come, and we know that we're working hard at training and continuing to move forward.
Yep. Any injuries out of today?
I don't think so. I think we got through all good. Yeah.
Yep.
So next week we'll hopefully get Heavey back. So he missed. He got a knock a couple of weeks ago, and he's missed today. I'm not sure if we've got anyone else to come back. We might have allies potentially. I think they've got a bye next week, so I'm not sure if we're getting those boys back. But so we got through unscathed today.